our next guest. Now, of course, we do have our clap for care, Shane. And he's an NHS healthcare worker. Here he is. Hello, Shane. How are you?
Hi, Darren. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Now, obviously, at the moment, we are in the craziest of times. But even before all this, your story starts with a situation where you just wanted a bit more recognition, and now even more so, you deserve that. As an NHS healthcare worker, thank you for everything that you do for everybody. But tell us, first of all, what happened that started the petition that you just felt you had to raise?
Well, Darren, I am a healthcare worker myself, and I work in a small hospital that helps patients be rehabilitated back into their homes and into care homes. And in February this year, I posted a Facebook post expressing my anger at the government terming low-paid workers as unskilled, and it just kind of sparked anger. So I wrote this post on Facebook, and it went viral. It went crazy, and it was shared over 20,000 times by other healthcare assistants and nurses and doctors and members of the general public who clearly shared the same anger. And it just started from there, really, and the momentum started to roll. It was picked up by newspapers and things like that. And this was before the coronavirus had just hit the UK as well. So my petition that I went on to start was solely for healthcare assistants. Obviously, with the coronavirus pandemic, things have changed a little bit, and I do believe anyone that's out there on the front line should be, getting that recognition and the pay that they deserve as well.
It's hardly something that I think a lot of people before this really thought about, because certain jobs are just categorized and it just seems to just wash over people. But for someone who does what you do, and you'll tell me please in a moment what it is you do, some of the aspects of your job. But when we spoke about this last night, just a little catch up before this, I couldn't believe the things that you do. And I thought I couldn't even do those things physically. I'd be too nervous to do them. They are clearly skilled jobs. And you told me, right, where do you go to learn how to do your job?
We attend a skills centre, so aptly named.
A skill centre?
Yes.
So how could you be an unskilled worker if you go to a skill centre? It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't, no. But yeah, the list of things that we do on a daily basis is it's endless, really. We start in the morning with a handover, gaining information on new patients being discharged, or any changes that have happened in the last shift. And then we all head out onto the floor. We start by getting everybody up and out, washed and dressed, helping them with their meals. And once all that's done, then the day really starts to begin with, physio, occupational therapists, the doctors will come in and do everything they need to do. So we are assisting patients with that as well, as well as all the other things as well. On top of that, assisting the nurses with dressings, taking blood sugars, taking bloods. Sometimes we're asked to do ECGs, bladder scanning, all very skilled items. So
already my mind's blown, and that can only be the tip of the iceberg, because there'd be so much more you can't even think of right now, I'm sure.
Yes, you mentioned about plate spinning, which it's a really good description.
I mentioned this to you last night, and I just thought, with all the jobs you do, I can imagine that you're almost physically and literally running around going, I've got to do this and I've got to do this, and you're just hoping that it all stays up in the air for you and nothing collapses and goes wrong.
Your day can be like that, because obviously you can have patients that have conditions such as dementia, Alzheimer's, and they get up and walk around and wander, and obviously you can't have your eyes on every single person every minute of the day. So we have equipment called false alarms, and obviously you can hear those going off, so you're dashing off in the middle of what you're doing at the moment to make sure that patient remains safe and things like that. So yeah, the plate spinning is definitely a good description.
So just already, by the way, Paul says, Shane, thank you for your service. And Neil says, "Thank God for people like him." So there
Oh,
you are,
thank you.
people just on this little chat that we're doing right now, absolutely appreciative of what you do, and in so many ways, we can't be expected to know what it is you do. Because if you're not in a position where either you or someone in your family or one of your closest friends ends up needing you, we couldn't know what needs to be done in a job like yours. Because the best thing we can do, in a sense, is not see you.
Yes, the world of the NHS has the window into it to the public has opened up massively since all this. So there is a lot more awareness of things that go on in the NHS, and yeah, families have the dynamics of families has changed so much. People are separated, and relatives can't come and visit their wives, husbands, grandma, granddad, and in a way, we've now become kind of like their family because that we are the only people that they see. So that comes with its challenges as well. We've been doing as much as we can with technology, getting, patients to call and to FaceTime and things like that. And sometimes it's quite difficult to do that because, these people are having emotional conversations and, you're right there with that patient.
It sounds to me like not only has your job had to evolve and change quite quickly, it was already testing, now it's more testing, but also now you haven't got the fact that the family can come along and just sort of like give you a chance to do other things for a few minutes because they're there. You're now having to effectively become like a second family member, an additional
Yes.
family member, and support them even more closely than you ever did before. So has it become an even more emotional and sort of mentally tough thing for you?
It has, definitely. We've had to undertake training, um, obviously with PPE, the equipment that you have to wear around COVID patients, and new techniques of CPR when dealing with a COVID patient. And the one thing I found quite emotional was how to deal with the death of a patient with COVID because it's completely different from before. The family can't come and see that person, and you're there in that patient's last moments, and it can be very emotional. But where I work, brilliant place, brilliant team, all the nurses, doctors, managers, we have all been helping each other out. If someone's having a bit of a bad day, anxiety can be quite high. We have all chipped in to try and keep each other's spirits high. We actually have a wobble room at work. It's just a room that you can go to just process emotions and have a little bit of peaceful, quiet time just to reflect on things. So that's really good. And we have sweets in there as well.
Well, of course, you can't have a wobble without a sweet, can you?
No.
Just tell everybody where they can find this petition and what they can do for you right now.
My petition is available on the official parliamentary petitions website. It has reached 154,000 currently, so I have already reached the threshold for the potential of a debate. I did pen a letter to Boris Johnson. I haven't had a response yet. I'm going to be forgiving because he is a little bit busy at the moment, but
Yes.
I did get an official response from the petitions committee, which did give the one part that I had asked for, which was recognition for our job role, because our job role, as we've discussed, is skilled, and they have in their response highlighted that and given appreciation. But they went on to then speak about the pre-planned pay rise that was secured by the unions 3 years ago. And I just don't think that that's right because obviously our job role has changed dramatically recently. We are now, risking our lives every day, and that pay just doesn't reflect that at all. It's not all about money.
No.
I absolutely love my job, and I would do that job regardless. But it's not just me. I think there's a huge percentage of the UK that agrees with this. So I think it's something that they really need to consider.
Absolutely. I mean, the NHS saved Boris. So there we are. I mean, For me, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't deserve a bit more money than they were planning to give you. I certainly believe that everybody should be and could well be behind that cause as well. I just want to say thank you, just personally, just for everything that you
Oh,
do.
thank you,
And
Darren.
I hope professionally, I never have to need someone like yourself. But for those that do, I'm so glad that you're there. So thank you for that. It's nice to see you again. Shane and I knew each other a long time ago, and then I found out about this, and sort of I had to get him on the show. So thank you very much for joining me. You wanted to do a few mentions before you go and get our next musical guest on?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the other NH staff, frontline workers. You're all doing an amazing job. I know it can be so scary going to work every day, but just keep going. You're doing a really, really good job. And I just want to say a huge thank you to my manager, Helena Palin, who unfortunately is leaving where I work today. She's been the best manager ever. So I just want to wish her all the best of luck, and I'm going to miss her loads.
Oh, good luck, Helena. And Shane, thank you. Please stay safe. Look after yourself. Hope all of your colleagues continue to stay strong
Thank you.
throughout this whole time and stay well so that you can look after those that really need it. I mean, it's not just coronavirus at the moment. You're there for everybody else who's got every other ailment going on as well. So
Yes.
it's this on top of everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Darren. Thank you.
No, thank you, Shane. All right, take care.
Have a
We'll get
nice
some
evening.
music on. Yes, thank you. We'll
Stay
get some
safe.
music
Bye.
on in just a